The Galactic Empire, an unchallenged force spanning countless star systems, saw humanity as little more than a primitive species occupying a minor planet. Despite Earth's advancements, the Empire viewed humans as insignificant compared to their sprawling dominion. But when the Empire abducted a single human child, they made a grave miscalculation. The child wasn't just any child. It was the offspring of Earth's brightest scientists, a symbol of a tightly knit species driven by its resilience and fierce loyalty. What the Empire failed to comprehend was humanity's unwavering commitment to its own, an intrinsic value that turned even minor transgressions into a call to arms. When the news broke, it spread like wildfire. Media networks, social platforms, and international broadcasts were consumed by a single question. Why? Why would an advanced, powerful alien civilization single out a lone child? Speculations ranged from experimental purposes to a desire to assert dominance over Earth. Yet, amid the theories, one unifying emotion emerged: rage. This was no mere political matter. This was personal. World leaders convened within hours. The United Nations Security Council, along with clandestine military coalitions, operated in overdrive. Long-standing rivalries between nations evaporated as humanity united against a common enemy. Experts in every field, diplomacy, warfare, and even exobiology, were summoned to strategize. The abduction wasn't treated as an isolated incident, but as an act of war. For decades, Earth had been cautious about revealing its true technological capabilities to the galactic community. The abduction shattered that restraint. Governments unveiled classified programs that had prepared humanity for an eventual alien threat. These programs, once dismissed as paranoid overreach, were now humanity's frontline defense. The quiet hum of orbital shipyards, once shrouded in secrecy, roared to life as advanced fleets and weapon systems were mobilized. The Galactic Empire's arrogance was evident in its lack of response. No demands, no justification, just silence. This perceived indifference stoked humanity's fury further. Earth's leaders issued a unified declaration, demanding the immediate return of the child and accountability from the Empire. It wasn't just a statement, it was a warning. Within days, humanity's mobilization reached unprecedented levels. Civilians volunteered en masse, filling roles from logistics to intelligence gathering. Economies were restructured, prioritizing war production over peacetime industries. Factories that once produced commercial goods now churned out armaments and spacecraft. Humanity's transformation was swift, efficient, and absolute. Across the galaxy, whispers of Earth's audacious defiance began circulating. Minor civilizations, long subjugated by the Empire, observed humanity's response with cautious curiosity. Many doubted Earth's ability to stand against the might of the Empire. After all, this was a civilization with no formal galactic standing, no history of interstellar warfare. Yet, there was something unmistakable about humanity's resolve. In their overconfidence, the Empire had underestimated the psychological ripple effect of their actions. By targeting a child, they had inadvertently struck at the very core of human identity, a species defined by its fierce protection of its own, especially the vulnerable. To humanity, this wasn't merely about retaliation. It was about survival, dignity, and asserting a message to the galaxy. Humanity's scientists worked around the clock, reverse engineering captured alien technology and adapting it with Earth's ingenuity. Weapons capable of targeting the Empire's communication networks, disabling their supply chains, and penetrating their seemingly impenetrable defenses were devised. Earth wasn't preparing for a conventional war. It was preparing for a war fought on its terms. The Galactic Empire finally took notice, though not out of concern but rather amusement. To them, Earth's efforts were futile. They saw humans as an ambitious, yet ultimately fragile species, incapable of challenging their centuries-old dominance. Their analysts dismissed humanity's advancements as too little, too late. The abduction of the child wasn't even acknowledged within the Empire's higher echelons. This dismissal only solidified their hubris. Humanity's message to the Empire went unanswered, but the silence didn't deter Earth's leaders. They knew that diplomacy, with a power that refused to acknowledge them, was meaningless. Instead, Earth prepared for a confrontation that would shatter the galaxy's perception of what it meant to provoke humanity. The abduction had awakened something primal in humans. They had long considered themselves a species of cooperation and diplomacy. Yet, deep within their history was a latent capacity for ruthlessness, a willingness to fight against impossible odds. This was a characteristic the Galactic Empire had never encountered before. As humanity's fleets began to gather, spanning Earth's orbit and beyond, a sense of grim determination swept through every level of society. The child's face became a symbol, an emblem of what the galaxy needed to understand about humanity. They were not just a species of thinkers and creators, but of protectors and fighters. This wasn't a battle over territory or resources. This was a battle over identity, a reminder that no power in the galaxy could strip humanity of its fundamental values without facing unimaginable consequences. The Empire had sparked a fire it could no longer control, and Earth's leaders were prepared to carry that fire across the stars. Earth's response to the abduction was swift, calculated, and unlike anything the Galactic Empire could have anticipated. What had started as a moment of shock and disbelief transitioned into a meticulously coordinated mobilization of humanity's full might. This was no chaotic scramble. It was a deliberate awakening of dormant power, honed through decades of preparation for scenarios that had once seemed improbable. The first step was unity. Earth's political landscape, often fractured by competing interests, aligned with unprecedented clarity. The abduction of a child was not seen as an isolated incident, but as a symbolic challenge to humanity's sovereignty and dignity. Nations pooled resources, shared intelligence, and combined military forces to form a United Earth Command, a coalition tasked with overseeing the war effort. Old grudges and geopolitical rivalries dissolved under the weight of a common goal. The second step was secrecy. While humanity's outrage was public, its true capabilities remained hidden. A facade of relative unpreparedness was carefully maintained, giving the Empire a false sense of security. Beneath the surface, however, Earth's most brilliant minds worked tirelessly in research labs, factories, and underground facilities. Military projects that had been shelved due to budget cuts or political pushback were reinstated. Advanced AI systems, experimental propulsion technologies, and hybrid weapon designs, concepts once relegated to theoretical discussions, were fast-tracked into deployment. Earth's forces adopted a strategy of asymmetry. Humanity could not match the Empire's sheer scale of resources or military assets, but it didn't need to. The key was innovation and unpredictability. Analysts identified the Empire's over-reliance on centralized systems, from communication networks to supply chains. This vulnerability became the focal point of Earth's initial plans. The first major move came not in the form of a grand fleet, but a series of precision strikes. Prototypes of Earth's newest stealth ships, designed to evade detection through adaptive cloaking and advanced ECM systems, infiltrated the edges of the Empire's controlled space. These ships carried out surgical attacks on supply depots, relay stations, and forward operating bases. The goal wasn't to destroy the Empire outright, but to disrupt its operations and test its responses. The results were illuminating. The Empire's fleets, while technologically advanced, were slow to adapt to these unorthodox tactics. Their systems, built for conventional warfare, struggled to counter Earth's fluid and decentralized maneuvers. The initial strikes not only succeeded in destabilizing local sectors, but also sent a message. Humanity was not a passive victim. Meanwhile, Earth's mobilization effort continued to expand. Factories were repurposed to produce warships, drones, and modular weapon systems. Civilians, driven by the shared outrage and determination, volunteered in staggering numbers. Engineers, programmers, and scientists took on critical roles in designing and improving military assets. Cultural divides, once a source of tension, became a wellspring of diverse ideas and strategies. In space, Earth's fledgling fleet grew rapidly. The orbital shipyards, which had been operating covertly for years, became the heart of humanity's military production. New classes of warships were developed, each designed for specific roles, from agile corvettes optimized for hit-and-run tactics to massive carriers capable of deploying drone swarms. The fleet was not designed to mirror the Empire's monolithic ships, but to outmaneuver and outthink them. Earth's response wasn't limited to military actions. The psychological aspect of warfare was also considered. Propaganda broadcasts, aimed at the Empire's outlying territories, painted humanity as a species pushed to its limits but determined to fight back. Messages emphasized humanity's adaptability and resilience, planting seeds of doubt among the Empire's subjugated populations. Simultaneously, encrypted transmissions reached out to rebel factions within the Empire, offering cooperation against their shared oppressor. The Empire's initial reactions to these developments were dismissive. High-ranking officials regarded humanity's actions as little more than nuisances. Their arrogance, however, was their greatest weakness. Reports of disrupted supply lines and isolated attacks were downplayed or ignored altogether. The Empire's confidence in its technological and numerical superiority blinded it to the growing threat. On Earth, the military leadership prepared for the next phase of the conflict. The early strikes had served their purpose, exposing weaknesses in the Empire's structure and providing valuable intelligence. The data collected from these encounters was used to refine tactics and weapons further. Simulations ran continuously, testing every possible scenario to ensure that when the time came for a larger engagement, humanity would be ready. The sense of urgency was palpable, but so was the resolve. For the people of Earth, this wasn't just a fight for one child. It was a fight for their future. The child had become a symbol, a reminder of what humanity stood to lose if it allowed itself to be dominated by an alien power. The stakes were no longer about a single act of aggression, but about proving to the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. Despite the growing momentum, Earth's leaders knew the cost of this war would be high. Sacrifices were inevitable, and the ethical implications of their actions weighed heavily. Discussions within Earth Command often centered on the fine line between necessary ruthlessness and the preservation of humanity's moral compass. Yet, in the face of an existential threat, pragmatism often won out. The tipping point came when the Empire finally acknowledged Earth's defiance, not as an equal, but as an annoyance to be crushed. Imperial fleets were deployed to suppress what they saw as an insolent rebellion. Their commanders, confident in their superiority, failed to anticipate the scale and sophistication of Earth's preparations. As the first major fleet of the Empire entered Earth's vicinity, humanity's response was anything but conventional. Coordinated strikes targeted the fleet's command ships, cutting off communication and causing disarray. Drones outfitted with adaptive AI algorithms swarmed the Empire's vessels, exploiting weak points and overwhelming their defenses. Earth ships, smaller but faster, danced around the Empire's lumbering warships, delivering devastating blows before retreating to safety. The engagement was not a decisive victory for either side, but it marked a turning point. The Empire now understood that Earth was not a minor nuisance, but a formidable opponent. For humanity, it was proof that their strategy of ingenuity and unity could hold its own against a galactic superpower. The battle wasn't over, but the tides were beginning to shift. Humanity had demonstrated its resilience, its resourcefulness, and its willingness to fight against impossible odds. What the Empire had once dismissed as a primitive species was now a force that demanded their full attention, and soon their fear. Humanity's transition from calculated resistance to ruthless retaliation marked the turning point in the war. The initial strikes had proven effective, but Earth's leadership recognized that a sustained campaign would require a shift in tactics. This wasn't a war that could be won through defense alone. Humanity needed to take the fight to the Galactic Empire and dismantle its aura of invincibility. The decision was made. Retaliation would be swift, brutal, and decisive. The Empire, despite its vast resources, had weaknesses that humanity exploited with precision. Intelligence gathered from the early skirmishes revealed a critical dependency on centralized systems for communication, fleet coordination, and supply distribution. These systems, designed for efficiency in a galaxy-spanning empire, became liabilities when targeted by a species as adaptive and resourceful as humanity. Earth's military strategists devised operations to exploit these vulnerabilities. The first phase of retaliation began with attacks on the Empire's hyperspace relays. These relays formed the backbone of the Empire's communications network, allowing instantaneous coordination across star systems. Earth deployed a fleet of stealth frigates equipped with experimental energy disruptors, specifically designed to disable these installations without warning. The strikes were carried out simultaneously across multiple sectors, leaving large portions of the Empire's territory in disarray. Isolated and unable to communicate effectively, the Empire's forces became fragmented and vulnerable. Next came the dismantling of the Empire's supply lines. Earth's fleets focused on targeting convoys carrying vital resources, fuel, food, and weaponry. Using advanced cloaking and decoy technologies, human ships ambushed these convoys, crippling the Empire's logistical operations. These actions not only weakened the Empire's frontline forces, but also sent a clear message. Humanity would not fight this war by the Empire's rules. The psychological impact of these strikes began to ripple through the Empire. For centuries, they had operated under the assumption of absolute superiority, with no significant challenge to their dominance. Humanity's actions shattered this illusion. The Empire's leaders, once dismissive of Earth, now faced mounting pressure from within their ranks. Military commanders demanded more resources to counter the human threat, while civilian sectors voiced growing concerns about the Empire's ability to maintain order. Earth's retaliation was not limited to the battlefield. Cyber warfare became a critical component of the campaign. Teams of elite hackers operating from secure locations on Earth and in orbit infiltrated the Empire's networks. They disrupted fleet movements, altered command codes, and leaked classified information to rebel factions within the Empire's territories. By sowing chaos from within, humanity turned the Empire's own systems against it. One of the most pivotal moments of the campaign occurred when Earth unveiled its newest technological innovation, autonomous drone swarms. These drones, powered by adaptive AI, were capable of operating independently in hostile environments. Deployed in massive numbers, they overwhelmed the Empire's defenses through sheer unpredictability. Each drone acted as part of a larger network, sharing data in real time and adapting to the Empire's countermeasures with startling efficiency. The Empire's initial attempts to counter these drones proved ineffective. Their traditional tactics, designed to combat large, centralized fleets, were ill-suited for dealing with swarms of small, agile targets. The drones became a symbol of humanity's ingenuity, a weapon that embodied Earth's strategy of turning its technological limitations into strengths. As the Empire scrambled to respond, humanity escalated its efforts. Targeted strikes were launched against key industrial planets, disrupting the Empire's ability to manufacture new ships and weapons. These planets, heavily fortified and considered impervious to attack, fell victim to Earth's unrelenting assault. Using precision orbital bombardments and coordinated ground operations, humanity dismantled the Empire's war machine piece by piece. The Empire's desperation became evident. Reports from defectors and intercepted communications revealed infighting among the Empire's leadership. Some advocated for a full-scale invasion of Earth, while others warned that such an action would only further unite humanity and galvanize resistance. The cracks in the Empire's facade of unity grew wider with each passing day. At the heart of humanity's retaliation was a clear message. Earth would not simply defend itself. It would fight to ensure that no alien power would dare threaten it again. This message was driven home with a bold maneuver that sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Earth's forces launched an assault on a core Imperial world, one considered untouchable by even the most defiant rebel factions. The operation, codenamed Firebreak, was a demonstration of humanity's resolve. The assault on the core world was meticulously planned. Earth's fleets deployed decoys to draw away the Empire's defenders, while a specialized strike team infiltrated the planet's surface. Their mission was to disable the planet's planetary defense grid, paving the way for a full-scale attack. Within hours, the defenses were neutralized, and Earth's ships began their bombardment. The attack on the core world was a calculated act of retaliation. Civilian casualties were minimized wherever possible, but the destruction of key military installations and government facilities was absolute. The Empire's citizens, long accustomed to viewing their rulers as untouchable, witnessed firsthand the consequences of underestimating humanity. The psychological blow to the Empire was as significant as the material damage. The Galactic Empire, once the unchallenged superpower of the galaxy, now faced an enemy it could not predict or control. Humanity's retaliation had shifted the balance of power, proving that Earth was not only capable of defending itself, but also of taking the fight to the stars. The abduction of a single child had ignited a conflict that reshaped the galaxy, and the Empire's arrogance had set the stage for its undoing. As Earth's fleets regrouped and prepared for the next phase of the war, one thing was clear. Humanity's retaliation was not about revenge alone. It was about ensuring that the galaxy understood the price of provoking a species capable of adapting, innovating, and fighting with unparalleled determination. The Empire had underestimated Earth, and now it was paying the price. The final stages of the war between Earth and the Galactic Empire culminated in an unprecedented confrontation that would forever alter the galaxy's balance of power. What began as a calculated retaliation transformed into a climactic showdown that demonstrated humanity's ultimate capability for ruthless determination. The resolve to recover the abducted child and dismantle the Empire's dominance propelled Earth's forces to heights of strategic brilliance and technological innovation. The war reached its apex as the Empire, reeling from Earth's relentless strikes, committed its full military might to a decisive engagement. The target, Earth itself. Imperial fleets, numbering in the thousands, converged on the Sol system, prepared to crush humanity and reassert their supremacy. The Empire's leaders, desperate to restore their fractured image, believed this assault would end the conflict swiftly. They were wrong. Earth's defenses had been meticulously prepared for this moment. Layers of orbital platforms, armed with advanced kinetic and energy weapons, formed the first line of defense. The planet's surface bristled with anti-orbital cannons, automated targeting systems, and a network of drones ready to swarm any invaders. Humanity had turned its homeworld into a fortress, and every civilian, soldier, and leader stood ready to defend it. The Empire's fleets entered the system with overwhelming force, their vast armadas blotting out the stars. Yet, as they advanced, they encountered resistance unlike anything they had faced before. Earth's orbital platforms opened fire with precision, targeting the Empire's command ships and carriers. The initial volley disrupted the Empire's formations, forcing them to regroup under heavy fire. Humanity's counterattack was swift and devastating. Swarms of autonomous drones poured into the Empire's ranks, exploiting gaps in their defenses. These drones, equipped with adaptive AI and self-repair capabilities, overwhelmed the Empire's larger ships. Meanwhile, Earth's warships engaged in hit-and-run tactics, drawing the Empire's forces into ambushes and traps. The Sol system became a labyrinth of deadly engagements, where every asteroid and planetary moon served as a tactical advantage for humanity. As the battle raged, Earth deployed its most audacious weapon yet, the Aegis Array, a planetary-scale system capable of generating localized gravity distortions. This experimental technology, developed in secret, allowed humanity to disrupt the Empire's fleets on a fundamental level. Ships were torn from hyperspace mid-jump, their formations scattered and vulnerable. The Empire's commanders, unprepared for such a weapon, found their fleets increasingly fragmented and isolated. On the ground, humanity demonstrated its resilience and ingenuity. Imperial forces attempting to land on Earth faced fierce resistance. Cities became fortresses, with civilians and soldiers fighting side by side. Advanced urban warfare tactics, combined with Earth's intimate knowledge of its own terrain, turned the planet into a nightmare for the invaders. For every inch the Empire gained, it paid in blood and resources. The pivotal moment came when Earth's forces executed Operation Horizon, a bold plan to strike directly at the Empire's leadership. A specialized fleet, equipped with the latest stealth and infiltration technologies, bypassed the chaos of the Sol system battle and made its way to the Empire's central world. This planet, the heart of the Empire's political and military power, was protected by layers of defenses considered impenetrable. Earth's fleet, however, wasn't there to conquer. It was there to deliver a message. Using coordinated strikes, the fleet disabled the planetary shield generators and broadcast a message to every corner of the galaxy. The broadcast showed Earth's fleets surrounding the Empire's core world, its once unassailable defenses crumbling. The message was clear. Humanity was not only capable of defending itself, but of dismantling the very foundations of the Empire. The psychological impact of this strike was profound. Across the galaxy, rebel factions and subjugated species saw the Empire's vulnerability laid bare. Revolts erupted in dozens of star systems, further stretching the Empire's already strained resources. What had once been a war between Earth and the Empire had now become a galaxy-wide rebellion against tyranny. Back in the Sol system, the tide of battle turned decisively in humanity's favor. The Empire's fleets, battered and demoralized, began to retreat. Earth's forces pursued them relentlessly, ensuring no remnants of the invading armada would pose a threat in the future. The skies above Earth, once filled with the Empire's warships, now bore the scars of humanity's victory. With the Empire's defeat, the focus shifted to the child whose abduction had sparked the conflict. During the chaos of the final engagements, a daring rescue mission recovered the child from an Imperial facility. The child's return to Earth became a moment of profound significance, symbolizing not only the end of the war, but the values that had driven humanity to fight so fiercely. The child's resilience mirrored humanity's own, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that refused to be broken. In the aftermath of the war, Earth emerged not just as a victor, but as a power that commanded respect across the galaxy. The message humanity sent to the stars was unambiguous. They would not tolerate aggression or subjugation. What began as an act of defiance had transformed Earth into a symbol of resistance and hope for oppressed civilizations throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Empire, once a monolithic force, was now a shadow of its former self. Its territories fractured, its leadership in disarray, and its reputation in ruins. Humanity had not only defended its sovereignty, but it also reshaped the political landscape of the galaxy. The price had been steep, with countless lives lost and entire regions of Earth scarred by the war. Yet, in the face of such adversity, humanity had proven its resilience and strength. As Earth's leaders addressed their people, they spoke not of conquest, but of vigilance. The war had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of when united, but it had also revealed the dangers of complacency. Earth's fleets were expanded, its alliances with newly liberated worlds solidified, and its commitment to protecting its own reaffirmed. In the quiet aftermath, as Earth rebuilt and the galaxy adjusted to its new reality, one truth remained clear. The Empire's abduction of a single child had unleashed a force it could neither predict nor contain. Humanity, underestimated and overlooked, had risen to the challenge with a ferocity and determination that would be remembered for generations. The stars would never again look upon Earth as a mere planet. They would remember it as a power forged in fire, a beacon of resilience, and a warning to all who dared to threaten it.